Let's get straight on with tonight's team lineups. Manchester United standing by Les Sealey despite his disappointing display at Liverpool. 2 Dennis Irwin and 3 Clayton Blackmore at fullback. 4 Steve Bruce. 5 is Mickey Phelan. 6 Gary Pallister, recovered from an ankle injury. 7 Neil Webb and 8 Paul Ince in midfield. 9 Brian McClare in attack alongside 10 Mark Robins and 11 Russell Beardsmore, restored in preference to Mark Hughes. Pecksi include goalkeeper Bodnar, one of 4 Hungarian internationals, and that's how Manchester United will face the Hungarian team tonight, with a really attacking, aggressive lineup. The Hungarians, unfamiliar names, of course, but they do include at least one of the current international team who played at Wembley a week ago. Referee deciding to get matters underway here rather earlier than expected, and straight away Manchester United in the red shirts and white shorts on the attack, although a foul then on Clayton Blackmore, giving Manchester United a free kick. The referee tonight, incidentally, is from Holland, Marlo van der Ende, who's a school teacher from The Hague. Bruce with the free kick, flicked on towards Robins by McClare, and Robins took it down beautifully, and the referee has in fact whistled. The ball was placed into the back of the Pecksi Muncas net. The linesman had already flagged. Free kick to the Hungarians. They're not by any means one of the better-known teams in Hungary. Ferencváros and Honvéd, the top Hungarian club sides. But they got into Europe by beating Honvéd 2-0 in their domestic cup final last season, the first major honour in the club's history. Bruce right underneath the long kick. This is Lahota. Won back by Irwin for Manchester United. Phelan with the throw. Swung in again by Phelan towards Robins. Brought clear by Palatsky. Phelan's challenge, and the ball played forward. But again, Manchester United looking very firm at the back here early on. Alex Ferguson keen to point out that although they were disappointing in their defeat at Anfield in the league on Sunday, they actually had 22 goal attempts in that game, and I think a lot of people will agree that Liverpool were slightly flattered by the half-time score, certainly. And United believe they're playing well enough to try and clinch this tie in their home leg. Beardsmore, an important figure tonight. They'll be looking for him to supply the crosses to McClare and Robins. Bruce has gone forward for this free kick, taken by Owen, and immediately the Hungarians charging forward to get an offside decision. With a lot of experience of Europe on the gantry here tonight as well. Ian St John, who played in the 1966 European Cup Winners' Cup final for Liverpool, and I once had a bit of a holiday in Mallorca. Ian, it's nice to be back, isn't it?
Oh, it's wonderful. I remember, Alan, in the early days before Liverpool got into Europe, Ron Yates and I always came over here to the big games, and the atmosphere was always electric at Old Trafford. And although it's not a full house by any means tonight, you know, the crowd are pumped up for it, hoping that United can go off to a flyer.
Bruce underneath the dropping clearance again. That's the little captain Majuri, the number 10 in midfield for the Hungarians. A useful ball for Lahota, and Sealey had to be quick. Kicking against a rather strong wind here. It's been a very gusty day as McClare gets clear of his marker and feeds Robins. Irwin. Rather easy for Bodnar, who was reserved to the international goalkeeper Petri for last week's match against England at Wembley. He has 1 full cap himself. Bruce has won every header that's come his way so far. Blackmore forward, on by McClare, back again from Robins, and McClare doing well here, but the shot rather wide of target.
Well, already that link-up between Robins and McClare is quite pronounced, Alan. And I do have to say, I think they play off each other better than when Mark Hughes is playing. I'm not saying that Mark Hughes is not a great player. A lot of people will say he is. But I just think that to play off him is difficult, and I think this combination tonight will be massive for United.
Certainly that's the decision that Alex Ferguson came to. The referee's given a free kick against Laszlo Tse for the foul on Bruce, who begins a 3-match suspension for his recent sending off at Luton shortly. Pallister forward. Leclerc's header, and he was caught by the defender Brown as he went for it. Well spotted by the referee. Free kick to Manchester United. Webb, who's been made skipper tonight, will take it. Pallister and Bruce, who finally got the header. Such a danger, these two big central defenders. Pallister 6'4", Bruce is a 6-footer as well. The defenders were looking at Pallister, and Bruce sneaked in behind him, and it wasn't a bad effort here.
It was a very good effort. Always dangerous, Bruce, at corner kicks, free kicks, and it may be a way that United will score tonight, but I think United will attack more down the right-hand side of the field. They seem to have more attacking players on that side, and Dennis Irwin crosses a very good ball from the right-back position, so we may see a few balls coming in from there.
Bruce does his job again at the other end as a defender. Forward by Webb, and a useful ball. McClare onto it, looking lively up front. Obviously much prefers to play here. And remember, he got 31 goals in his first full season at Manchester United. Just 8 in 48 games last season, but he played a lot of those games in midfield. There he was again, being held, I thought, by Brown, but the referees let it go on. Number 7 is Lovats. And a foul on Tse, Laszlo Tse, 22. Very young side, the Hungarians, a couple of teenagers and 2 or 3 other players around the 22, 23 mark. And this the biggest occasion in their football history. Majeri, the captain. The layoff by Tse. 8 is Tonka, and the ball across the line. Pallister for Manchester United, and now Irwin. Robbins had run into a very good position there in the outside right channel, for the ball to find him just a little bit too strong. Nonetheless, Robbins' persistence has earned Manchester United a corner. Robbins himself on the near post, both Pallister and Bruce forward again. Bruce the target once more, and Bruce won it. 2 important headers that Steve Bruce, who's already scored 1 goal this season against Coventry, has won here in the early stages. Pallister. Phelan knocking it on, Brown with the clearance. Fell, but was not brought down by Owen. It's only a throw. Istvan Rahota scored 18 goals last season, including 1 in that cup final victory that earned Pesh, as they're known. It's a kind of abbreviated nickname, a bit like Spurs in England for this Hungarian team. And since it's a lot easier than saying Pecksi Muncas, I think we'll call them Pesh from here on in. Lovats. Blackmore's clearance for the handball on Cunha. This Manchester United's first European tie since 1985, when they reached the quarter-final of the UEFA Cup, losing on penalties, curiously, to another Hungarian side, Videoton, who that season went on to the final. Blackmore with a good long ball forward for Brian McClare. Hintz. Blackmore again. Good effort from Blackmore. Oh, what a goal! Clayton Blackmore has given Manchester United the perfect start on their return to European football. He saw the opening and he hit that with ferocity and caught Bodnar completely by surprise.
Well, I think the ball swerved tremendously in the air. He caught it with the outside of his foot, and the goalkeeper was lined up at the near post, and he'd never even moved his feet.
Manchester United get the perfect lift-off, and European football is back with a vengeance at Old Trafford. Clayton Blackmore, who hadn't scored since the Charity Shield, gets an absolute stunner. The Welsh international giving Manchester United a one-goal lead. Nine minutes of the game gone. It makes it particularly difficult now for Pecks because, of course, European teams by nature in the away leg come to defend. Now they've got to think about looking for a goal themselves. Robins header, Beardsmore gets it back again. Oh, good running. United with their tails up now, and the crowd really getting behind them. The clearance by Bolog. Manchester United have got to take full advantage of this start. The Hungarians, I know, were very, very apprehensive about coming here to Old Trafford. They've got a great deal of respect for English football in general, and Manchester United in particular. And this little club, midway down the Hungarian First Division, have seen Clayton Blackmore really, I suppose, underline everything they feared. Here's Phelan for United. Beardsmore. Irwin in support, and it's a good-looking ball in. Cleared by Pollock. Phelan again. United buzzing. Webb. That's a goal kick. Well, we can have a look at the goal again. And what a beauty. Clayton Blackmore, remember, had actually started that move back in his own half. Alistair up well. The captain Majeri. Lahota. But Majeri again. Number 8 is Ponta. In towards Lovats, and Pallister read it well. Ince. McClare always available. And finding the goal scorer, Blackmore. Robins, good ball. Ince. Good stuff from Manchester United. Robins up in support on his left, and he's seen him, but he's offside. That must have been close.
Good running by Robins there, wasn't it? I mean, he made up a lot of ground on Ince to get in support. Actually, it didn't look offside to me, but this boy really is buzzing, and I like the look of United tonight. You have to say that the opposition, we don't know how strong they're going to be, but they certainly haven't come here. I don't think, Alan, even in the first 9 minutes of the game before the goal, I don't think they came to defend. They looked to me as if they had quite a positive approach to it.
Maybe a little bit too positive for their own good, perhaps. Time will tell. Here's Webb for Manchester United. They lead by a goal to nil. Beardsmore on the right. Back it goes from McClare to him. He'll do well to keep it in, and he's done well, and wins the throw. Irwin to Webb. Good control by Webb. He took it beautifully on the chest. A volley cross, which Ince has reached. And that's a throw to Pecks, who are in only their third season in Europe and twice went out in the early rounds previously against Newcastle United in the old Fairs Cup of 1971 and then against Feyenoord in the UEFA Cup of 87. Only one Hungarian team, incidentally, has ever won a European trophy, and that was Ferencváros, who won the old UEFA Cup. Pecksi. Lahota. Brown. Lahota let it run on. Shea doing well. But won back beautifully by Pallister. Blackmore, Phelan. A lot of running up front, a lot of movement, just out of the camera shot at the moment by Robbins and McClare. Phelan forward, Ince joins the attack. Good play by Ince! He's never actually scored yet at Old Trafford. Paul Ince, his only goals for United came at Portsmouth in the League Cup last season, and he looked very dangerous then.
Well, it was a good build-up by the midfield players. A nice ball in, first of all, by Phelan to Ince, hurdles the tackle, keeps his balance and gets his shot in. Thankfully, as far as the goalkeeper is concerned, that time straight at him.
McClare doing well. He really beat the defender Brown beautifully then, and then was brought down, in fact.
See, Brown is marking McClare man for man, but Brian McClare's movement tonight has been so good and so sharp, he's losing his defender.
It's only 20, Brown. Bruce, Pallister, Ince. Pallister again. Good effort. The keeper's lost it. Robbins and McClare. Now that, I'm afraid, was a case of both the strikers almost wanting the ball too much, if that doesn't sound foolish. Had one left it to the other, a goal would surely have resulted.
Well, what a good chance it was. A great strike there by Pallister. The goalkeeper, who I don't fancy at all in tonight's show, and fumbles, and as you say, getting in each other's road there.
Well, Bodnar hasn't looked too safe early on here. To be fair to say, he doesn't look the most athletic or agile of goalkeepers.
A bit like Tommy Long's stature.
You can tell Tommy exactly what you mean by that. Here's Webb. Beardsmore. Good ball in. Robbins is there again. It reaches Ince. Phelan. Blackmore, the goal scorer. That's useful as well. Oh, good turn by Webb! Manchester United get a second. In the 16th minute. And the captain for the night, Neil Webb, the scorer. And another beautiful setup. Blackmore involved again. Look at that turn. Great skill from Webb. Graham Taylor will be purring at the sight of that, I'm sure.
Well, the midfield players are certainly getting forward, getting themselves into the box, and wonderful skill, one touch to control it, and a left foot shot into the far corner. Excellent goal.
Well, I must say, I expected a lot of goals tonight for Manchester United, and the start they've made suggests that we really could be in for an entertaining night. Neil Webb's second goal of the season to follow his score in the home match here against Coventry in the First Division. Manchester United, dare I say it, have already gone a very long way towards wrapping up this tie. Pesh don't know what's hit them. 2 down, just over a quarter of an hour of the game gone. Bruce with the clearance. Say. And a wild shot by Cunha. Well, the second leg will be in the little town of Pecksi in 2 weeks' time. A mining community in the south of Hungary with a tiny little ground, only holds about 12,000. They haven't got any floodlights, so they're kicking off about 1 o'clock in the afternoon local time. It'll be packed because Manchester United, as I was saying, are very, very popular in Hungary. But I fear already it'll be a foregone conclusion. But they're looking dangerous now with Lovets. He's pulled back, and I thought I heard the whistle. One of the players seemed to. And there's that pleasing scoreline. 2 goals in the space of 7 minutes for Manchester United. And Joseph Garami, the coach of Pesh, looks suitably concerned now. Alistair winning it for United. Ince. I expect United supporters are thinking if only one of those had gone in like that on Sunday against Liverpool at Anfield, when they did produce so many shots. And they're flowing beautifully with feeling. Webb. What a great ball. Blackmore. Ince. Bruce joining in. Brian McClare up front. The defender very close to him, but he still turned him. A clumsy sort of clearance. Phelan onto it. Ince with the shot. And I think you'll find everybody in a red United shirt tonight fancying a crack at goal.
Bit of shooting practice, I think, Alan, tonight. Holland surely must fancy himself for a goal. I think he'll find one or two opportunities. See, the Pecks team look to me to be very inexperienced, and certainly at this level, you can't come in the first leg of a game and try to attack and try to play an open game of football, because all you'll do is leave yourself wide open as what's happening, and they'll probably be on the end of a thrashing.
Well, they're certainly looking a little bit naive here in the opening stages against a team, or at least a club in Manchester United, in their 14th season in European competition. And this little fella, Karoli Majeri, they call him the Archie Gemmill of Hungarian football, tough little midfield player. He's got a lot to do here to get his team back into the game, and as you can see, only just made it into the lineup at the last minute. Robbins for United. Webb. Pecksi couldn't even keep it in play then. And the crowd will be expecting Manchester United to score a lot more goals than this, as Robbins is fouled. Bruce forward again for the free kick. He's hanging in the wind. It comes to Ince. Cleared upfield by Pecksi, and not a single Pecks player in the Manchester United half. Alistair and Bruce could see a lot of the ball at the back under no real pressure, I think, tonight. Irwin forward, looking for Beardsmore. Pecksi wins it back, and they don't look too confident in themselves in defence, even though they are playing a sweeper and two central defenders. Alistair, and it had gone out of play. That's a throw to Pecks. Pecksi. Pecksi, midway through the first half here at Old Trafford, Manchester United leading by 2-0 in this Cup Winners' Cup opening round tie. Now by Webb on Majeri. Brown. And rather harshly, I felt, the referee has given a foul against Bruce for the challenge on Lovats. Now, they've got a couple of guys who are said to be free-kick specialists. Number 9, Laszlo Tsay, and also Lahota, the number 11. A speciality. I wouldn't like to see one of the ordinary free kicks. Never truly trouble Les Seeley. Laszlo Tsay well off target with that one. Blackmore, the man who started United off so well, finding Robbins. Blackmore again, he's linking up superbly down this left-hand side. Of course, as I say that, I put the kiss of death on him, but he's using the ball well, getting forward onto the end of the return ball. the rather portly-looking Bodnar in the Pecks goal is in for a torrid night, I feel. Free kick to United. Erwin lets it run on. Russell Beardsmore. They're queuing up for the cross. Cleared by Brown. And Palatsky had his legs taken from under him by Ince. Well, they're really playing into United's hands with the great punt downfield by the goalkeeper, because Pallister and Bruce will deal with them all day. Ince doing well. He lost out initially, but was determined to win it back and gets the free kick. Inevitably, Pallister and Bruce have gone forward for Blackmore's kick. Pallister got there first, but no real meat behind the header. He met it at the wrong angle. Hasn't scored yet this season. Got 3 goals last season. He certainly remembers Hungarians with some affection. It was against Hungary that he won his first England cap at Wembley in 1988. Just 1 more cap since. Beardsmore, and Robbins let it go, thinking that Webb was right behind him, and he wasn't. Bolog. I would think Pecks aren't quite sure how to play this from now on. Do they just settle for trying to keep United to 2? Do they open up and try and get a goal back themselves? It's a dilemma for them, Ian.
Well, I think you're right enough about that. I would think they're deciding that they better just try and shut up shop here, or otherwise, you know, they're going to be quite a few goals down. And at the same time, maybe hope to get the breakaway, or maybe score off a free kick. But I mean, that is nonsense, isn't it? You know, at this level of football, you don't expect players to just kick the ball to the goalkeeper like that.
Cunha completely wasting the opening. And now Pallister for Manchester United. And the game has been played almost entirely so far with Manchester United on the attack. There's a lovely little flick then by McClair. The defender took his ankle. And indeed, Brown has shown the yellow card, and I think rightly so for that challenge.
Yeah, I think McClair's been too quick from all night. You know, Brian McClair's been getting to the ball first, and Brown always a bit late, caught him in that instance.
Incidentally, through the years, 5 English clubs have won the European Cup Winners' Club, the last being Everton in 1985, which of course marked the end of our spell in Europe. And having been present to witness the full horror of the Hynsel on that awful night 5 years ago, I can only say that I hope our return to European football is matched by a return to good behaviour by English fans everywhere. The game deserves their respect. Webb with the free kick, then McClair is back on his feet and fit to continue. A header by Tomka. United's throw. And the game inevitably lost just a little bit of its edge with United getting those 2 quick goals. The crowd waiting to be thrilled again by the power of United shooting. Blackmore looking for Pallister up there. Bullock, the sweeper. brought down by Webb, who indicates that he thought it was a little bit of a dive. Bodnar again bonking the ball onto Bruce's head. I don't know why he's persisting with that, because it's not getting Pesh anywhere at all. United will want to keep pushing forward here. 2 goals to the good, 15 minutes before half-time, but they'll want to make absolutely sure of this tie before facing what's bound to be a difficult trip in a fortnight's time to Hungary. No matter what the standard of the opposition, going away from home in Europe has its own problems and pitfalls. Here's Blackmore from the position from which he scored. They're not doing quite so well this time. Halatski coming forward from the back, but just nothing is going right at the moment for the Hungarian team. Robbins, lovely control by Mark Robbins. And looking and finding McClare. It's a useful looking ball. Ince made the goalkeeper's life difficult, but he just fingertipped it to safety. Bruce has got a chase on here because Lovac is pretty pacey, so Pallister came to help him out. And the Stretford end roar again as Blackmore brings United forward. McClare. Ince. Back it goes to this attacking left-back who's relishing the openings he's finding tonight. And setting up Phelan now. On to McClare, Webb and Irwin. Beardsmore on the right. Flowing football from Manchester United. Webb. This is Irwin. 3 men waiting for the cross. The 4th man, sadly for United, was the Pesh goalkeeper. Lahota couldn't keep it in. And Pallister just shepherding the ball over the line, knowing it was United's throw.
I do feel United have to keep a bit of width about the play. In the last 10 minutes or so, they started to sort of squeeze themselves into the middle of the field, Alan, trying to go through the middle. And I do feel, as they did there before, when everyone got that ball in, if they keep a bit of width, especially down the right-hand side of the field, I think that sort of service will get them goals.
There's another good-looking cross, which Pesh dealt with some difficulty.
You know, down the left-hand side, they've got no width because the full-back always comes in on his right foot. You know, Clayton Blackmore always comes in his right foot, so there's no width on that side.
Here's Robbins. Beardsmore didn't know he had the ball then for a second, and hence the cross was rather wild. Mark Robbins, who scored 3 goals in his last 3 games after starting the season as a substitute, got 10 goals last season. Only Mark Hughes scored more at Old Trafford last season. Webb getting up well. Cunha gets it clear. Lahota. Webb there to win it back again and brought down by Majeri. As you can see, dare I say, a typically Mancunian evening, the rain falling heavily. Mark Hughes, one of the Manchester United substitutes tonight, the only survivor from their last European tie against Videoton of Hungary 5 years ago. Ryan Robson another, but of course he's sadly injured once again. Phelan doing well. McClare available as always. Robbins calling for the early cross. Wasn't good enough to reach him. Majeri. It's a useful ball. And Thay finds Lovats. Still Lovats. Beautiful interception from Neil Webb. read that perfectly. McClare. Oh, what a good run. Beardsmore just a bit late to reach it, though. And even when they had more men forward than I can previously remember, Pesh could do nothing about it. And possession comes back to Manchester United. Alistair. McClare took it beautifully on the chest. Beardsmore finding Robbins. Erwin on the right. First time cross was useful, but dealt with by the Hungarians. And now Blackmore. McClare, a lovely layoff for Ince. Could have taken it on perhaps a yard or two there, Paul Ince, but certainly struck it well. Joined a year ago this week from West Ham. And still looking, as I was saying earlier, for his first goal on his new home ground. Meanwhile, offside at the United end. And this is Bruce. Alistair. Blackmore opting for the first time ball forward, and a lovely header from McClare to Robbins. This is Ince now. Webb turns it on, glorious ball. McClare to Ince. And still Ince. So very nearly. It skidded off the turf, and Bodnar just pushed it round for a corner.
Well, we'll have to take back what we said about the goalkeeper. That was an excellent save from what I thought was a very good shot. Paul Ince getting into goal-scoring positions tonight, that's for sure.
Corner kick to Manchester United. Pallister on the near post. Bruce near the penalty spot. There was a push on Pallister then, and the goalkeeper didn't know what on earth was happening. Pallister's complaining to the referee, and I happened to see that clearly. He was definitely pushed in the back as the ball came over. The flick took it on, and Pesh were in all kinds of problems again. Blackmore trying a shot from all of 35 yards, which was a bit too ambitious this time. And suddenly, for the first time, Lovac's looking dangerous. Oh, and on it goes to Lahota. Well, he really made a bit of a porridge of that. And to add to his indignity, falls over. That was a chance, Ian.
Well, Manchester United really, I'm sure, will get their backsides kicked at half-time by Alec Ferguson for all being up the field and allowing the Hungarians that chance.
It was Blackmore really trying a shot that was never on, and they could have been made to pay for that. And an away goal, of course, in a European tie can be doubly valuable. Hynsel wriggled it through the legs to Majeri. Malatsky took too long, and suddenly United counter-attack dangerously. McClare to Robbins. Beardsmore to Webb. Waiting for support, and he knew it would come from Blackmore. Wasn't the cross he intended.
Well, that's his bad foot, as I was saying earlier. You know, Clayton prefers it on his right foot, prefers to come inside. But I thought United are very slow at getting forward. When the counter-attack United, they don't seem to be breaking very quickly.
So still 2-0 as United look to build again on their glorious start, with 2 goals coming in the space of 7 minutes, the 9th and 16th minutes to be exact, from Clayton Blackmore and Neil Webb.
And while it stays at 2, Alan, the risk is always there that Pesh can get one, as he almost did before there. Then, you know, it doesn't look too good for the second leg, does it? It starts to look as if it could be a tough game.
Palatsky won it back, and Pesh in possession, but not for long. And perhaps that little opening a moment or two ago has given Pesh some hope, restored a bit of their confidence. I think they came here perhaps paying Manchester United a little bit too much respect. Pallister wins it back. Webb. Blackmore. And this is Ince. I thought that was United's throw, so did Webb, but it went the other way. And they'll have to keep their concentration. Say in possession. 5 minutes to half-time. Majeri coming forward. Dispossessed, though, by Russell Beardsmore. It's been a relatively easy night for these two central defenders so far. Webb hungry for the ball in midfield. That's good to see. Oh, that was unlucky, Brian McClare. And he wins the throw. McClare, having played in this competition previously for Celtic. Here he is again, laying it on for Webb. Pallister for United. They'd love another just before the break, I'm sure. Beardsmore. Irwin on the overlap, and he took the defender away cleverly. This is Phelan. And perhaps United have just lost their way a little bit in the last 15 minutes or so. Tomcat playing it forward, looking for Lahota. Manchester United seem to win it back with arrogant ease. Not just Manchester United, of course, in action tonight, but also Aston Villa. They're also at home, and you can see full coverage of that game throughout the ITV regions at 10:40 tonight. English European football brought to you exclusively this season by ITV, as Brian McClare gave the Stretford end what they wanted to see and have been wanting for a few minutes: a shot on goal.
They have lost their way a little bit, United, in the last quarter of an hour, and you have to say that Pesh have come into the game a bit. They're knocking the ball around reasonably well without it being, you know, a real threat, although they did have the best chance of the game. But Brian McClare has been, I think, outstanding player for United tonight. Always been available for the ball, always been busy. Wouldn't surprise me tonight if Brian doesn't get a goal.
Webb with the free kick. It was aimed at Bruce, but it was taken perhaps a little bit too quickly.
There's a lot of carelessness when you look at a free kick like that by Neil Webb. A lot of carelessness creeping into United's play, and I think once they got 2 goals up, Alan, they must have thought, well, it's going to be easy here, and they sort of switched off a bit, but they'll have to switch back on again and start playing the way they were doing in the first 20 minutes.
Here's Webb. He can certainly get them ticking. On to Robbins. Good tackle. What a good tackle it was by Cunha. Tomcat coming forward. They look for the number 7 Lovats, but it was all too easy for Seeley. Robbins felt he was being held then by Cunha. Tomcat again, or Pesh. Clayton Blackmore called him badly as the ball was played forward then. I don't think it was entirely deliberate. I think he just mistimed his tackle, and on this wet and greasy surface, it looked worse than it was. Just a minute of the first half remaining here for Manchester United. In fourth appearance in the Cup Winners' Cup. The last time was 1984 when they reached the semi-final and lost to the eventual winners Juventus of Italy. Both the injured players, Lovac and Blackmore, fit to continue. Free kick to Pesh. Lovac gets it back and finds Thay. Useful looking ball. Lahota sneaked in between the two defenders, Pallister and Irwin, but not with any real conviction, I have to say. Phelan, Webb, Blackmore, Robbins. Good first time passing movement this by Manchester United. Webb, Pallister. On it goes to Webb once more. And that's the end of the first half. A very satisfactory scoreline for Manchester United. 2 goals coming in the first 16 minutes. But I would have thought that Pesh are quite satisfied with the way the half has gone for them since then. They've kept United at bay, forced them into long-range shooting. And I think United need to pick the pace up again in the second half to really emphasise the difference in class between these two teams. The half-time score at Old Trafford then, Manchester United 2, Pecksi Muncas of Hungary 0. We'll be back with more action right after the break.
Welcome back to Old Trafford on the night that English clubs return to European competition. 2-0 to Manchester United after 16 minutes. They look to be cruising it, but that's how it stayed. That's the score at half-time, and it's a reminder of one of the most intriguing aspects of European competition, Graham, isn't it? That 2-0 is a good scoreline, 2-1 isn't.
Well, no, I mean, the away goals are very important. But I would think that Manchester United are reasonably satisfied. On the other hand, I think that Alex will be pleased half-time's come for them to pick up the pace of the game in the second half.
This was the extraordinary start they got after 9 minutes.
Well, it's a tremendous shot, isn't it? Obviously swerves away there. Keeper sat down. I can think of other positions that he could be in. And now he's trying to explain. I think you'll see later on he tries to explain after. It's an unusual position, isn't it?
He's working out 1 or 2 excuses for the coach here.
I think he's trying to say, I didn't know I was expected to cover all of the goal, you know, things like that. He really got caught there. Probably did swerve quite a lot, but it's a tremendous shot.
Here's, as I said to Laurie McMenemy on Sunday, here's a man who's looking for his England place back.
I've been impressed with Neil Webb. He's played very well, and it's a good goal, that. Knew exactly what he was doing. I've been very impressed with his performances.
Well, Neil Webb is captain of Manchester United tonight, of course. There was a little switch shortly before the game. We thought it was going to be Steve Bruce. It turned out to be Neil Webb. No doubt who it would have been had he been fit. Brian Robson. He's now with Gary Newbon.
Brian, what do you think of United's performance so far?
I think it's a good, steady start for us. Nothing exceptional, but nothing bad. And the lads have done a good job so far. You know, 2 goals and not conceding a goal, which is very important in European football.
Why do you think it's only a steady start?
Well, because I don't think the Hungarians are brilliant. You know, I think they're just an average team, but the lads have done a very professional job against them. And we've looked composed, and we've looked fairly solid at the back, and so that's like I'm saying, it's just a nice steady start. Hopefully, you know, if we can get another couple of goals in the second half, then it's an excellent result for us.
Thank you.
Well, he's still an integral part of Alex Ferguson's plans when he's fit. Is he still an integral part of yours?
Well, I think we all know, Brian. I mean, first of all, he's looking to get as fit as soon as possible so he can put a red shirt of Manchester United on again, and I'm sure that as soon as he does that, he'll be trying to force me to give him a white shirt of England, because that's the nature of the man, isn't it?
Indeed. Now look, 2-0 we said is a good scoreline, 2-1 isn't. Here's a classic European warning. United caught on the break, Graham.
Yeah, it had been rather a silly shot really by Clayton Blackmore, and it had been blocked down. And actually the lad should have done, the Hungarian lad, he should have done better with his finishing, but that's the problem, of course, all of the time.
Well, it's 2-0 at half-time. We're all hoping Manchester United can get a couple more in the second half and make the second leg in Hungary in 2 weeks' time that little bit easier. You can join us for the next 45 minutes right after this break. Welcome back. Well, we all agree it really is terrific to be back in Europe. Incidentally, Aston Villa are also playing tonight in Czechoslovakia against Baník Ostrava. We're not going to go into detail at all about that because it's going to be shown recorded highlights on ITV right after news at 10. So it is great to be back in Europe, but what about next season when this 4-foreigner rule comes into play? In other words, for English clubs, the Irish, the Welsh and the Scots will be regarded as foreigners.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting, Elton. I'm pretty certain that a lot of the footballing public are not aware of that at the present time. I mean, if you take a club like Liverpool, it will mean that they will only be able to choose 4 of something like 11 of their people. It certainly is going to be very interesting.
Do you think this is a way of FIFA trying to get a British national team, if you like?
Well, I mean, I think we all know within the football political circles there is a feeling that, in fact, these islands should only be represented by one side, and it may be something to do with that. I'm not too certain. I mean, I'm not in on the so-called political scene. What I do know, I mean, if you take Celtic, it's not just England. If you take Celtic and you take Rangers, I mean, we were going through earlier Celtic's point of view. From our information, you're talking possibly, you know, them 7 or 8 players that they have on their squad, that 4 would not be able to play. I wouldn't know, Elton, exactly what the answer is to it yet, but it certainly is a problem that's got to be addressed.
OK, as it is, we're just glad to be back. So for the second half of Manchester United against Pecks of Hungary, with United leading by 2-0, as the second half is about to start, let's rejoin in St John and Alan Parry.
Thank you, Elton. No problem with these two, both Englishmen born and bred, Neil Webb and Paul Ince. United in their 87th European tie in a Cup Winners' Cup this season that is of very high quality. Juventus, Barcelona, PSV, Bobby Robson's club, Dynamo Kiev, Aberdeen and Wrexham, also from Great Britain, amongst those contesting the trophy this season. So Manchester United will be grateful to get what on paper looked and so far has proved to be a fairly easy start to their new European campaign. Leading 2-0, but as we've been saying, and as Graham Taylor was reiterating during the half-time interval, the goals by Blackmore and Webb, not enough really to give United a totally safe passage to the second round. And certainly, as Bruce directed his early header wide of target, I think the supporters will want to see Manchester United really go up the throats of Pecks in this half. Steve Bruce just cheated out of a European appearance by the ban on English clubs. He was at Norwich, who had qualified for the UEFA Cup at the time the ban took place. Alistair forward. Well read by Brown. Back it comes to Webb for Manchester United. McClare letting it run on to Ince. McClare again. Blackmore in strongly, and McClare with the loose ball finds Webb beautifully. Offside though, he hesitated, thinking that he might have been, and the linesman was a little bit late flagging. Well, the Pecks players have certainly enjoyed their visit to Manchester, if not the match so far. Bodner and his colleagues have been doing all the usual things of shopping and buying records and T-shirts. I don't know how they managed it, because the club gave them a none too generous allowance of £12 per player for their 3 days in England. Just about enough to buy an umbrella, and that's what they've needed here on this real wintry night. Lahota actually has spent all his allowance on gifts for an anonymous fan of the team back in Hungary. Mihai Konya, the 29-year-old, one of the longer-serving players in the Pecks team. Clayton Blackmore wins it back for Manchester United. Finds Webb, the captain. Alistair and Phelan. Irwin. And Leslie gets what's a rare touch in the game for him. Kept his place since taking over from Jim Leighton in the cup final replay last season. Here's Moore, finding McClare well. Irwin. Palatsky panicked a little bit. As it came off, well, I thought it'd come off Owen, but the linesman has given it United's way. Webb back to Owen. Webb again. Just had his ankles taken then. Definite foul by Balatach Bertzi. Beardsmore. Palatsky turned it away to Majeri. Haven't seen too much of the little captain tonight. Tomka. And he did well. But they haven't really threaded together a convincing movement in the whole game. The only time they looked dangerous was that first half break, which was a result of Manchester United perhaps committing too many men forward. Understandably so at the time. And really, Pecks do look a weak side to me, and I would have thought Manchester United would be disappointed if they don't get more goals here. They should finish them off. Bruce. And Pallister. Robbins turned away from his defender neatly and found Phelan. Blackmore with him. That's United's throw. Nicky Phelan, in his first season after moving from Norwich, was actually the only United player to appear in every league game last season. And the cross easily thumped clear by the sweeper Bullock. Pallister right underneath it for United. Ince and Blackmore out there on the left. And a rather unorthodox tackle by Tomka.
It's been noticeable, Alan, that the crossing by Manchester United has been rather poor.
And that was a foul as they threatened again. Majeri not too happy with the challenge. Looks like one of those little bohemian artists you find in some Parisian backstreet.
I think it looks a bit like Bill Oddie. Thinks of the goodies.
Not carrying quite so much weight, but I can see the resemblance. Yeah, with a poor clearance, not helped by the swirling wind. New seats on that side of Old Trafford this season to replace the standing paddock area. It's brought the capacity down to about 47,000 now. United, of course, still the best supported club in English football. And they've had a couple of gates of well over 40,000 here already for their league games. Pallister, not a good ball, and suddenly Pecks on the counter-attack. Lovats. Say playing it forward and being fouled as he did so. Free kick to Pecks. Well, it would certainly stir United up if the Hungarians were to snatch a goal here. Maybe in a funny sort of way, that's what United need to get the impetus back into their game again. Lahota's header, it's a good one. Palatsky, the defender, forward for once. Lahota. Useful little ball for Thay. One back by Owen. McClare was being fouled by Brown, but still won the ball. Robbins trying to use his pace, but it was always the defender who was favourite. But Bolog has conceded the throw. Owen. Only McClare in the penalty area for Manchester United, but he has picked him out well. Good goalkeeping this time by Bodnar. Lovats took it well, no challenge at all coming in. Now Pallister for United, finding Webb. Blackmore with acres of space again down the United left. Ince is forward. Blackmore. McClare takes it down beautifully again and finds Beardsmore. Webb. Helped on to Irwin. And back to McClare. Hit the defender Brown and just kept in by Lahota from going behind for a corner. But it's United's throw. Good quick throw to Webb. Well, that's dangerous. And the keeper did well to claw it away. Pallister, Irwin. Webb in the clear. Robbins waiting for the cross, but it eluded him. And an unnecessary corner conceded by Pesh. Tonka panicked a little bit. And you feel that Manchester United have got to assert their authority sooner or later from one of these corner kicks. They've had Pesh in trouble with Bruce and Pallister every time so far. And Bruce is there again, got a touch to it, was climbing all over the defender though.
I thought the goalkeeper actually slipped on the way out there. Alan, I didn't see a foul. But it's much better by United in the last few minutes. They've raised the tempo of the game, which they had to do. The whole thing was going to sleep, and you know, they really have to be moving a bit quicker, pushing the ball around, get more movement into the play.
Did well then, the keeper, in the move that led up to that corner kick. Coming up to 10 minutes gone in the second half. Manchester United leading by 2-0 here against Pecksi Muncas of Hungary in the Cup Winners' Cup. Webb, good little ball, come off cleared by Brown. United have the corner again. Bruce comes marauding forward again. Pallister behind him. And usually it's a fullback Irwin who'll take the kick. Well met by Brown. Webb with a lovely little ball back to Irwin. They're queuing up on the far post, and inevitably Irwin played it to the near post.
Again, as I say, Alan, you know, they're not quite getting the crosses where they should be. They're hitting the first of the defenders in there. They've got to bypass them.
Webb. What a good game he's had. That was not one of the better balls he's played. He's in there to win it back though for United. There was a handball though. Free kick rather to Pesh. Neil Webb, it was just over a year ago that he was injured playing for England in Sweden, and of course was out for 7 months. And has battled his way back brilliantly, both into the Manchester United team, including the FA Cup final appearance he made, of course, and into the England situation. Here's Robbins. Beersmore won it back. Phelan. Webb tried to sweep it first time out to Blackmore. Phelan in there to win it back for United. I suppose, in a way, this is what European nights are all about. The wind is swirling around the stadium, the rain falling heavily. The quality of the opposition perhaps not quite good enough to test United and make this a really competitive game. European matches have a particular feel about them, and it's great to be back in that arena again. Beersmore doing well, and he and the other United youngsters will certainly grow in stature the more European opposition they can play against. And here he is once more, laying it off for Ince. Phelan. Bruce. United camped out in the Hungarian half. Irwin. Well, whatever Bruce was intending then, he didn't get it right. Free kick to Pesh.
There's no real pattern, I don't feel, about United's play at the start of the second half here, Alan. They just seem to be, you know, chasing around. It's all hurry-scurry stuff, and they don't appear really to know what they're trying to do.
Beersmore was fouled by Palatsky. Quickly taken free kick. Irwin for Manchester United. Robbins running into space. Lost his defender well, but again the cross not quite decisive enough.
Well, it's again the case of that cross hitting the first defender. You know what we haven't seen tonight, which you always used to see when you come here at United, when they had wingers, when people would get to the byline, Alan, and cut them back, a little chip balls to the far post. We haven't seen anything at all tonight like that. All the crosses have been coming in from a distance.
Neil Webb for Manchester United. It's a lovely ball. And again, well taken by McClare. Rockwood control to find Irwin. Beardsmore. McClare again. It goes in rather more decisively this time. Blackmore's header. Robbins, who's nearly on the end. But the goalkeeper has certainly improved from his rather shaky start to this game.
Yes, all credit to the goalkeeper, because it was a shaky start, and to lose the 2 goals, be 2 goals down, he hasn't done anything wrong since then.
Good little header by Beardsmore. McClare, and Robbins gets it back to him. Now getting a little bit frustrated with United at the moment. They need another goal.
See, that's another example of the crosses I was talking about. Balls get played in, Alan, from 20 yards out. Really, I don't know why United don't try to get to the byline, don't try to get behind them, because the way things are going at the moment, the Pecks team are quite happy to handle the balls that get played in.
Yes, it seems a bit churlish, I guess, to some people to criticise a team leading 2-0 and dominating the play, but it's not been a totally convincing performance by Manchester United as yet.
No, United are not, what you say, missing a lot of chances, are they? Because they're not creating chances.
Here's Blackmore, scorer of the first goal, finding Webb, who got the second. McClare. Blackmore, that's a lovely ball. Well, it was a lovely effort as well. And the goalkeeper just guarding his post as Webb clipped it in. McClare on to Robbins, and Webb is at the heart of most of the good things that Manchester United have done. We're getting some other European results in now. 1 or 2 matches kicked off earlier than this one, and there's some good news for British clubs. In the European Cup, Rangers, despite that dodgy pitch that Graham Souness was complaining about, beat Valletta 4-0 in Malta. And in the Cup Winners' Cup, Famagusta of Cyprus were beaten 2-0 by Aberdeen. Don't forget, our highlights programme at 10:40 tonight will bring you all the action from Aston Villa's home leg against Baník Ostrava and the rest of the European news. Here's Ince for Manchester United. They're 2-0 up. Was he fouled? The referee whistled. In fact, the foul has gone against Ince, who's saying, well, hang on, I was fouled in the first place. You should be wearing binoculars. Or some such phrase. And for that little bit of advice to the Dutch referee, who understands English and speaks it perfectly, Mr. Ince is cautioned. The law being, thou cannot take the mickey out of officials.
Saw Neil Webb having a word with Ince there, telling him it was a rather silly thing to do, getting booked for a simple thing like that.
Quite right. And there speaks a man who has only been booked for hefty challenges on opponents, never for a word out of place. Blackmore for Manchester United was fouled. Bruce with a free kick. Neil Webb. I feel a third United goal now might just open up the floodgates as Blackmore turns it in. And Webb gave it away, but won it back. Good play by Neil Webb. Blackmore forward to Robbins. Not been at his most effective tonight, young Robbins. And suddenly, Say leads the counter-charge for Pesh. Palatsky. Bertsen. Out on the right is Tonka. It's the first time, really, I think, since the interval I can recall Pesh mounting a flowing attack into the United half. It didn't last long. Here's Ince for Manchester United, finding Robbins. It's a good run by the youngster, and a fine ball at the end of it to Beardsmore. Now Pallister. Not the most convincing of crosses again, but it comes back to Pallister, who ran straight into Thay. Irwin now for United. Beardsmore, good-looking cross, headed clear by Brown. Webb tried to get the ball back into the action. Phelan is there for United. Blackmore. Webb. Well, frustration is the name of the game in this second half for Manchester United. For all the possession they've had, they haven't carved a real clear-cut opening as yet. And now they're on the defensive for once. Lovat's coming forward, and Beardsmore sliced his back pass and made Seeley sprint for the first time really tonight. Mark Hughes possibly about to join the action.
Well, I would think Alec Ferguson has to shake the pack up a little bit and see if he can unlock the door, because at the moment, you know, United are very obvious in everything they're trying to do.
Well, that looked like a foul by Bolog on McClare, but the referee has ruled it not so. And Bolog comes forward with the ball. Straight to Pallister, though. Phelan for United. Webb. Beardsmore. He gave Irwin an awful lot of work to do. We never really had a hope of getting a decent cross in from that angle. Birdsey. And you have to say that Pesh are currently looking a lot better side than they did in the first half.
You have to also say, if they were playing against maybe a better quality team from Europe, United could be in trouble.
Fair comment. Majuri. Well, they do flatter to deceive a little on occasions, Pesh. And now what's beginning to look like a good attack, and then a clumsy ball like that gives possession back to Manchester United. 65 minutes gone. The home team leading by 2-0 here in this return to European football for English clubs after an absence of 5 years. Bruce for Manchester United. Robbins finding Blackmore. Back to Phelan. Now the crowd are getting on the backs of the United players a little. They're not happy with the way the second half has gone. Birdsky turning, and Majuri, the captain, takes over. Pallister there to win it back for United. But too many of United's attacks are spluttering out around the Pesh penalty area, and here's Lahota for them. A little bit ambitious, and met with its due reward, ending up in the Stretford end.
I feel if Pesh had started the game with this sort of formation and with this attitude, Alan, I don't think they'd have been 2 goals down, because, I mean, they're looking like quite a confident side at the moment, because the United can't seem to unlock the door at all, can't seem to create any chances. And it looks to me like, if you watch the game now in the second half, it looks a very even Steven game.
Certainly does. Had it only been 1-0, I think United would have been really concerned about the situation. 2-0 gives them breathing space, of course. But at the moment, you have to say that Pesh are looking quite comfortable. Pallister needs, I think, a fresh injection here from Manchester United. Mark Hughes or somebody anyway to change things around, a fresh face. I gather from the bench that it looks as though Ince might be the player to make his way here. He's sharp amongst the substitutes. warming up for Manchester United. Here's Webb. Phelan. Good challenge by Palatsky. Pallister. Bruce. On to McClare. That's a foul. Alex Ferguson has chosen that moment to make his substitution. Ince is limping a little bit, in fact. And Lee Sharp will take his place. Sharp, the young man who made his Football League debut when he was only 16 at Torquay, made 30-odd appearances in his first season for United, 20 last season, when he spent most of his time out injured. So Sharp gets his first taste of European action as Blackmore plays it in, offside against Webb.
I shall have to retake it.
Yes, actually.
The referee never blew.
The referee wasn't ready. Blackmore with the kick. Pallister got up. Oh, so close to an own goal, and that really was a good save by Bodnar. And he deserved a little pat on the head. He may have looked a bit foolish with the first two goals, but he really did well then and saved the embarrassment of his own defender, who sliced that complete miss kick. And from the corner, United looked dangerous again, and Sharp straight onto it, but couldn't keep it in. Goal kick. I've got two results for you from the same competition, the Cup Winners' Cup. Wrexham 0, Lyngby 0. Bit of a disappointment that for the Welsh team. And Glentoran, the Irish team, holding Steaua Bucharest, former European Cup champions, of course, 1-1. And they're both full-time scores. As Beretsky goes forward dangerously for a moment for Pesh, but Manchester United on the attack again now with Sharp. And he given the little touch of inspiration they need to get back into this game in the second half. Blackmore. Fancied the shot, I think, for a moment. Phelan beaten in the challenge, though. Lovac brings it forward. And he's taken on the defenders single-handed, and it was a good run by Lovac, but he wasn't brought down. He was looking for a free kick. Play on, says the referee. McClare will do so for United. Well, that definitely was a foul. Palatsky on McClare. Now, is this to be the free kick that can lead to United breaching the Pesh defensive wall again? Pallister forward for it. And Bruce just trotting in behind him. There he is. Irwin's kick. No United man made a meaningful challenge, I'm afraid. So in it comes again. And it just won't drop in the right place in that Pesh penalty area for United in this half.
The Pesh defenders, mind you, Alan, are doing very well. They're pushing out and holding around the 18-yard line and keeping United away from dangerous headers. I think they've defended rather well this second half.
And Pesh themselves are going to make a substitution now. Joseph Garami looks as though he's going to bring on Lajos Bojas, who's a forward. The only forward he's really gone on the substitute bench. They're mainly defenders and one midfield player. So maybe he feels they've got a chance of snatching something. Here's Bruce for Manchester United. They lead 2-0 here. Good play by Sharp. Robbins. Foul. Free kick to United just outside the penalty area. Now Webb might fancy a little curler here. Clayton Blackmore there with him as well. And young Lee Sharp. to be Irwin in the end who is lining it up. United have got plenty of options. Webb wants the wall to go back and sets it up for the fullback to hit it. And that wasn't a bad effort. Dennis Irwin yet to score since joining Manchester United in the summer from Oldham. And now Pecks will make their substitution. It is indeed Muncas who comes on. And it's a straight swap because the man who's coming off is Ferenc Lovac, the top scorer from last season. 28 goals he got. But he's been injured recently and didn't in fact train last night. So maybe the injury has taken its toll. Muncas on in his place. And I hear that a hamstring injury is what caused Paul Ince to leave the field for United a few moments ago. Beardsmore winning the header. Brown underneath it. And United get the free kick. The foul by the little skipper, Majeri. A reminder of the score coming up to 15 minutes of the game to go. Still 2-0 to Manchester United. They'd love another at least. They might need another at least, let's face it. Phelan. Pecks have done enough in this second half to suggest that they weren't quite such the ordinary side we thought they were in the first 20 minutes here. And they'll be a lot better on their own home territory. Pallister going forward. United looking for a third. Beardsmore. Lahota making it hard for him. And I thought that was a foul by the Pecks number 11. The crowd, needless to add, did as well. The referee, rather more importantly, didn't.
I think a case of a big, strong one holding off a little fella there.
Yeah, he's only 9.5 stone in his wet football shirt. Russell Beardsmore, and I know that Alex Ferguson wants to see him build up his physique a little bit more. A few stakes to do the job. Nice little turn. Good skill there by Bertzi. Finding Majeri. Cunha on. And given away by the substitute, Muncas. But Cunha wins it back. Majeri. Palatsky. Lahota. Now, can United build something from that mistake? Brian McClure. Oh dear. Played it the wrong side of Robbins.
The crowd seem to be wanting Mark Hughes on, Alan. They're shouting for Hughes, who's actually started warming up down the touchline, so maybe he'll get the last 10 minutes. But I don't blame at all Brian McClure and Robbins, because I don't think they've been getting the service. You know, United started off very briskly, playing the ball into McClure, and it all looked great. And the link up with Robbins was great. In the second half, they've never really got a pass that was worthy of the name.
Certainly hasn't gone according to script since that dramatic opening for United. They looked then as though they were going to absolutely slaughter this team, and it hasn't worked out that way. Here's Phelan, vaulting over the challenge from Palatsky. Kept it in play, but wasn't close enough to do anything with it. Irwin. Webb. Beardsmore. Good play by Beardsmore. Dispossessed and fouled at the same time by Bertzi. Free kick to United, and Pallister has gone forward. Bruce pushing on the far side, not seen by the referee. Sharp, not a good cross. There was a great shout for handball from the Manchester United players as it struck the Pecks defender, but play on is the verdict. Here's more, good ball, Robbins. Look for McClure, good goalkeeping, back to Sharp. And the keeper has thwarted United once again, and that's a good early throw out as well. A bit too good for the substitute, but he did well, he kept it in. And suddenly Lahota and Say are joining him in the middle. And he finds Say. Lahota. Goal kick and an opportunity to hear from the England manager, Graham Taylor.
The first quarter of an hour, they're using up quite a little bit of time, which means that they haven't got the space to get in behind the Hungarian defence. And as Ian was saying, that means that they can't get into byline positions. And the Hungarians are quite content to let them have the ball in front of them. And it's very difficult then to open up. You see, it's slow movement of the ball here. And if the ball was moved much sharper and quicker as it was in the first 15 minutes, I'm sure they'd be able to find the space to at least start to turn the Hungarian defence. If they keep moving it about at the pace that they are doing, they'll find that they're playing in front of them all of the time, and then you're just resorting to actually knocking the ball in from not the best angles.
There's a decent ball going into Sharp. It was so close. And as we were hearing from Graham then, you probably saw Manchester United made their substitution. Robbins has gone off, Mark Hughes has come on. Corner kick to Manchester United. Pallister's header. Oh, it's hit the bar. The player was so unlucky. And as it's belted back in again, Manchester United's frustration just continues here.
It's Mark Hughes, actually, I think.
It was, actually. He was just behind McLaren. I'm not quite sure which of them got the final touch there, but it matters not. It was against the bar anyhow. It could have been a dramatic introduction anyway by Mark Hughes. And certainly United, in my opinion, Ian, at the moment, the way it's looking, do need a third goal.
Well, a third goal, I think, would be something that everyone in the ground here would want, because I don't fancy United being too confident going away to Pecks, you know, just to defend the 2 goals. I do think, as you say, they do need the other one, but the way they're playing, they really haven't deserved to get another one. You only get out the game what you put into it, and I think, as Graham was saying there, the fact that they've been very lax in the play, they've been knocking the ball around in front of their defenders, and they haven't put the team under any sort of pressure this second half.
Turned forward by the substitute Bojas. Hughes takes it down and gets it back from Webb. That's a useful ball for Sharp. And just to underline the point we've been making so often, the cross has once again let Manchester United down, as Pesh are about to make another substitution. The long-serving Zerner, a defender, so he's about to come on. Pesh, incidentally, have not had a corner in the whole game, an astonishing statistic. 2-0 Manchester United lead. You get the feeling they need another. There was a foul then on Beardsmore. And this is the opportunity for Palatsky to be replaced. Obviously injured, and it'll be a straight swap of one defender for another as Zerner comes on. His first duty will be to defend this Manchester United free kick, taken by Owen, but not taken at the right time for the referee. Owen belts it high towards Pallister. Still in. Beardsmore with the shot. Wasn't a bad effort. And yet again, the goalkeeper, who was the villain of the piece from a Pesh point of view early on, has been the hero. And he's there again. But it comes back to Pallister. Lahota gets it clear. There's some late pressure now from Manchester United. Can Pesh survive this? Phelan forward. Not a good ball, though. Webb for Manchester United. Spreads it intelligently out to the left. Blackmore. Into Hughes. Sharp. Back to Blackmore again. He had to beat the referee, apart from anything else. Irwin. Good ball for Beardsmore, but it didn't quite hold up for him.
The idea was right, just overhit it, but if United had actually played more balls like that throughout the game to try and get, say, Beardsmore, for instance, run behind the defenders, I think they would have had more joy.
Just 6 minutes to go now. Manchester United have a 2-0 lead to take to Hungary in 2 weeks' time. A match, incidentally, that we will be showing live the whole of the second leg here on ITV. As I was telling you earlier, it kicks off because Pesh don't have any floodlights in their stadium at 1:30 English time, fortnight today. It could be interesting as well if it's only a 2-0 lead United have. Spectacular effort that came to nothing. And Brian McClare, who's had a useful night, certainly with his general all-round play, but not particularly in front of goal, reflecting the whole of United's performance. Win forward. Into Hughes. Oh dear, that was a bit of an unpleasant challenge by Zerner, and he will rightly be shown the yellow card. He's only just come on as a substitute. I can't remember him actually kicking the ball. He's kicked Mark Hughes and got himself booked, and that could be a quiz question in a couple of years. Unlucky 13, son. Bruce for Manchester United. Blackmore. Sharp. And Sharp is something United haven't really been in this second half. Webb. He was. That's a good turn as well. It's in off the head and it fell kindly for Pesh once again. Well, with 16 minutes gone, I would think Pesh must have been dreading and fearing the worst from this match, and it's turned out, against their expectations, I dare say, to be not too bad by European standards, you'd have to say. A defeat is a defeat, and 2 goals are going to be very hard for them to pull back, but it looked at one stage as though United were going to put the game actually beyond reach of Pesh. It's certainly not that. Good play there by the little sub. Muncas. The Pallister for United, finding Webb. A third goal really would change the picture now for United. Hughes couldn't get it right, though. Forward by Bollock. Nice play by Sharp, finding Phelan. This is Webb. McClare spreading it wide to Beardsmore on the right. A poor cross again, and how often have we said that tonight? But Webb helping it out to that far side to Sharp. No real power or pace behind the shot.
Been very predictable, Manchester United, haven't they, Alan, in this second half, and they've been so easy to read as far as the Pesh defenders are concerned. Everything's just getting played into them, and they've never really been under any sort of pressure. And you have to say, get the credit in the second half all goes to the Hungarian side, and you get a horrible feeling, you know, that something silly could maybe even happen in the dying minutes.
And also that second leg, it's a tiny little ground, the crowd very tight to the pitch. They're technically not a bad little side. Alex Ferguson has seen them play at home a couple of times. He said that even before the kick-off tonight. And, well, who knows? Let's not be too pessimistic, but if they were to get an early goal in that second leg, United could face a bit of a battle against a team that it looked as though they were going to bury. McClare. Webb. It's a good ball. McClare intelligently into space. He's got Sharp in support. Good looking cross towards Hughes, but he couldn't climb high enough. Irwin there. I'm not quite sure what Beersmore was intending then. He gets it back though. Blackmore. And Manchester United waste another attack. Majori. Zerner. There's only a minute to go now. And I think tonight can truly be summed up as a match in which Manchester United have failed to build on a very, very good start. McClare, good control. There's still time for that third United goal, which would alter the picture dramatically. McClare doing well again. Hughes in the centre. Phelan. It's a United throw. The crowd willing one final effort here from United. Webb. Blackmore. Blackmore's there again, and a good ball for Webb. Oh dear. He just run out of room. And United have just run out of ideas. Well, Ian, your final thoughts as the final whistle approaches?
Well, I'm sure Manchester United are happy in the fact that they've won the game 2-0, but at the same time, I wouldn't think they're very happy with the overall content, because I do feel they haven't played as well as they can do, and certainly not as well as the opening 20 minutes promised. And they've given themselves a tougher match away from home than they would have wanted to.
Mahota in well. Stay. Irwin lying injured as this Pesh attack comes to nothing. Sharp for Manchester United. Hughes was being held off there by the defender. Irwin back on his feet again, still limping. United have got to get on with it. Time is against them. And Hughes has found that the time has run out. In fact, the referee blows the final whistle, and Manchester United, in their return to European football after 5 years, have found this goalkeeper a strange mixture. In the first 20 minutes, he was at fault, arguably, with both the Manchester United goals scored by Clayton Blackmore and Neil Webb, but in the end, he made several fine saves to frustrate United, who, in all honesty, didn't really put him under enough pressure. Good, but it could have been a lot better for Manchester United. Still, let's look on the bright side. They go to Hungary in a fortnight with a 2-goal lead, and they did not concede a goal here, and that could be very important in the final analysis. A satisfactory return to the European scene for Manchester United, but I'm sure after 15 minutes or so, they really thought it was going to be a whole lot better than that.
Neil, the immediate question has to be, will the 2-goal lead be enough going over there?
Hopefully. We're very disappointed, especially in the first half, not to get more goals. We had enough shots. Second half, they tend to close up shop a wee bit, and it's very difficult to break them down, which is what we expected. But 2 goals hopefully will be enough. But like I say, we'd have liked a third.
What did you think of their defence?
Well, they knew we were going to come here and put 10 at the back. We knew it was going to be difficult to break down, which it was. But in the first 15-20 minutes, we had enough chances to get 3 or 4 goals, which is disappointing, like I say. But hopefully 2 goals will be enough to see us in Hungary.
Nice to see you, Captain. Any reason why?
I know you have to ask the manager that.
Thank you, well done.
OK, thanks very much, guys.
Well, not the most